Here's 50 things that do not make sense from a bunch of LEGO games. What is the deal with Superman in LEGO Batman 2? We know that he is allergic to kryptonite, as seen in the one level where we head over to Metropolis, but when he stands next to Lex Luthor, who clearly has kryptonite on the end of his gun, he's completely fine. In the LEGO Marvel games, what exactly are Spider-Man's webs attaching to? The game makes an effort to try and keep it somewhat realistic, like preventing Spider-Man from swinging past the tallest building, or on the helicarrier. But this logic is quickly broken. How is he able to just sit still on a web when there's clearly nothing around for it to attach to? Like, it just ends here in the clouds. I guess the only logical explanation to this is that if you look closely, you can see Uncle Ben holding on. We all know how LEGO characters usually hold lightsabers with one hand, so can someone explain to me why in the very first LEGO Star Wars cutscene, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are gripping their lightsabers with two hands, and what is going on with their arms? Is this how they were meant to use lightsabers in very early versions of LEGO Star Wars the video game? Whoever made the decision to get rid of this, thank you. What is up with the class system in the Skywalker saga? It just destroys certain characters and it makes no sense. Like, for instance, Han Solo can use smuggler abilities, but when he wears a stormtrooper outfit, he suddenly forgets how to. That is literally me. What do you mean I cannot do it? Look, I am not just a spitting image, I am Han Solo. Shut up, Chewie. And this is not the only case. There are so many others, like Finn can do hero terminals, but when he is in his first order drip, he cannot do them anymore. And some characters in the villain class are detected as heroes to enemies. Then there were characters who could do droid terminals in the older LEGO Star Wars games, like the IG robots, who cannot do them anymore. Or how about this major issue with LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2? You can clearly see once you beat the game that Chronopolis gets destroyed and we end up back in Manhattan in the post-credit scene. Which is a good thing because this open world is better in my opinion, but then once the post-credit scene is over, we are back in Chronopolis, and what's stranger is how Kang still makes his announcements. He's gone. What is the deal with Batman in the LEGO games? He cannot use technology even when he is inside his own Batcave. Wouldn't you think he knows how to use his own tech panels? And it gets even stranger as Bruce Wayne can use technology, but Batman cannot. I do not know how to use this technology panel, but if I take off my mask, I somehow know I'm Batman. What is the difference between Indiana Jones and the Indiana Jones Crystal Skull variation in LEGO Indiana Jones 2? Literally look at it. There is no noticeable difference unless I am going blind. I genuinely cannot spot the difference, and the Crystal Skull variation should be older. Why is his stubble not grey? And you know what makes this worse? They got rid of the other Indiana Jones variations. There's only 2 in this game, and the 2 are the same. In LEGO Marvel Super Heroes, there is a total of 5 symbiote characters. You have Venom, Carnage, alongside the symbiote scientist, and finally, symbiote Spider-Man. And they are all made up of symbiote. I know, I am something of a scientist myself. It took a while to figure that one out.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
Meaning they can all travel through symbiote vents, but for some reason, TT Games forgot to give the ability to symbiote Spider-Man.
You fixed this damn door!
So he cannot go through the symbiote door even though he is made of symbiote. Why does Arkham Asylum have a massive maze in its yard where inmates are allowed to roam? That seems like a terrible idea for security. Inmates could easily hide within the maze, and if you're called back to your cell during a break, good luck getting out. If you get lost, you're done for. The level in the game where you have to track down villains inside the maze really drives home how impractical this setup is. A maze in a prison? Who thought this was a smart idea? One of the most confusing things about LEGO Marvel 2 is how it completely erases any trace of the Fantastic Four and X-Men with little to no explanation, yet oddly enough, you can still find a souvenir shop selling Galactus and Silver Surfer tops. This doesn't make sense from a game design point. These should not be here. In LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, when you shoot at Captain Phasma, she effortlessly deflects blaster bolts thanks to her armor. So why isn't this the case with the Mandalorian? Beskar is supposed to be virtually indestructible, capable of withstanding blaster fire lightsabers, yet we're expected to believe that a single bullet to the head can take out Din Djarin. C-3PO may as well be Grogu's guardian, at least he is bulletproof. What's the deal with the trolls and goblins in LEGO Hobbit? In the story, they hate sunlight and turn to stone when exposed to it. Shouldn't I be a giant rock statue right now? I am literally basking in the sunlight. And when you consider that this is one of the only few LEGO games to allow you to play in the open world at night time, it really doesn't make sense. These characters should only be playable at night and locked in the day. Did you ever notice Emma Frost's random appearance in the cutscene right before the final battle with Galactus in LEGO Marvel Superheroes? It's so strange. She just pops out of nowhere. We don't even see her in the X-Men level beforehand. Her inclusion feels completely out of place in the story. She's just standing there, not really interacting, almost like she's asking,
"Hey, are you guys here for Galactus too?"
And then after this scene, she vanishes entirely. She doesn't even take part in the final fight. What was the point of her being here? Lex Luthor's gun in LEGO Batman 2. Where do I even begin with this bizarre weapon? Lex calls it the Deconstructor, and it's supposed to dismantle anything black. Sure, when fired at Batman, it works as advertised, but then you have characters like Catwoman, who's decked out in solid black from head to toe, yet remains completely unaffected by the Deconstructor. And don't even get me started on the Batmobile. Instead of deconstructing it, it destroys it. Yet in the story, we see it perfectly deconstruct the Batmobile. This is why they build that horrible multicolored rainbow Batmobile in the story. It's meant to stop it getting deconstructed. Or how about how in the LEGO Middle-earth games, only a select few characters have the ability to start fires, so it's puzzling that Sauron, who is literally on fire in LEGO Hobbit, cannot ignite anything. Like, I am standing on top of the wood. Why is it not on fire already? And shouldn't I be melting the ice by just standing next to it like the Human Torch does in LEGO Marvel Superheroes? And the Mini Balrog and Smaug cannot even start fires. One's a dragon. What is the issue with the jetpacks in the LEGO Star Wars games? When you hover in the air and do not move, you can literally hover forever, but the second you move in any direction, the jetpack just gives up after 2 seconds. Where is the logic here? I am burning the same amount of fuel whether I am stationary or moving, and it's not like it would be overpowered. And what is funny is how they got it correct with R2-D2. It doesn't matter if you're moving or not with him. Ugh, the jetpacks in the Skywalker saga are awful. Ugh, it don't even last a second. LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean is one of my all-time favorite LEGO games. It's seriously underrated, but there is something in this game that really frustrates me, and that is how Will Turner, who is portrayed as a skilled blacksmith in the first Pirates movie, cannot repair blacksmith/forge items. Instead, this role is oddly assigned to Gibbs. Or how about when you pick up a cursed coin in broad daylight, you still turn into a skeleton? This is only meant to happen in the moonlight, not the daylight. But you have to appreciate the detail how every character turns into a skeleton with the cursed coin, apart from Davy Jones, because obviously his heart is in the chest. In the Harry Potter universe, wizards are strictly forbidden from using magic in the Muggle world, so why am I able to freely cast spells in LEGO Harry Potter years 5 to 7 right in the middle of London without facing any consequences? Harry Potter got sent to the Ministry over this. I know that he wasn't an adult at the time, but even adult wizards are supposed to be discreet, only using magic behind closed doors. Where's the wizarding law enforcement? Now, not many people realize that in classic LEGO games, if you approach certain walls slowly, your character begins to sneak, a fun little detail. However, it's oddly inconsistent. Like, some walls will let you perform this super stealthy move, while others don't, and even when you perform it, it doesn't work. Enemies still spot you as if you are not sneaking at all. It feels like a pointless feature that's always puzzled me. Why include it if it doesn't really serve a purpose? The bush camping in LEGO Indiana Jones works if you want to sneak around, but the thing is, no one likes a bush camper. Why does Gotham City frequently change in the LEGO DC games, and who keeps changing it? There is a voice line in LEGO DC Supervillains which confirms that this Gotham City is the same as the one from LEGO Batman 3 and 2 and possibly 1. The NPC talks about how it keeps changing. Here, I'll let you have a listen.
Is it just me, or does Gotham get a new look every few years? Just me?
Okay, now I am aware it's just a funny little voice line, but in terms of the actual overarching story of the LEGO Batman games, it makes no sense. And who is doing it? And does that mean Metropolis is changing too? Now get a load of this one in LEGO Marvel Superheroes. When the Lizard transforms back into Kirk Connors, it's clear that he only has one hand. So how exactly does he manage to hold onto a zip line? Like, is he secretly strong with the Force? LEGO Marvel Super Heroes is known for its impressive attention to detail, making this one stand out even more. How did they miss it? And at the end of the day, he is made out of Lego. Can he not just stick a hand back on? And that makes me think about Lego game deaths. What makes a Lego game character truly die? In Lego Harry Potter, when Cedric dies, Dumbledore pulls out a manual which indicates he can be saved and rebuilt. But then in Lego Lord of the Rings, when Boromir dies to a banana, he is gone forever. Same with Qui-Gon Jinn. Why couldn't these be rebuilt and saved? Obviously, I understand that they have to follow the source material, but sometimes they break this rule, like with Cedric and Robin getting his head cut off and being completely fine. It just gets confusing. How come in the LEGO Marvel games, Spider-Man can climb almost every surface across New York City, but the moment he tries to crawl upside down on a ceiling, he suddenly falls? Luckily, Norman Osborn wasn't lurking below this time. Look, I recreated the Spider-Man 1 poster. Oh, wrong thing. And here's another thing that doesn't add up. Spider-Man cannot handle technology panels in the first LEGO Marvel game. Peter Parker's supposed to be a genius designing his own web shooters, yet apparently he cannot manage a simple tech puzzle. Makes no sense, right? Or how about this one in LEGO City Undercover? We see Blackwell Tower, which is this building here, turn into a literal rocket, fly up to the moon, then it comes crashing down to Earth, blowing up in one of the greatest segments in a LEGO game, and after the mission is finished, Blackwell Tower magically reappears. I guess the builders in this game are next level. They are probably the builders from the LEGO adverts. Hey, build Blackwell Tower! Anyway, back to LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Cosmic bricks play a crucial role in the story, and only 5 characters in the game can use cosmic power to build with them. Galactus, Silver Surfer, Nova, Miss Marvel, and surprisingly, Drax. However, what's even more puzzling is that during the story, we clearly see Doctor Doom constructing items with cosmic bricks like his ray gun, yet when it comes to gameplay, Doctor Doom suddenly loses the ability to build items from cosmic bricks. Have you ever noticed this major issue in the LEGO Harry Potter games? And once I pointed out, it will probably bug you every time you play the game, and hopefully they will fix it in the upcoming remastered collection, because it seriously makes no sense. Throughout nearly every cutscene, the size of the wands are frustratingly inconsistent. In some cutscenes, the wands are noticeably larger, while in others, they suddenly shrink and slim down. Okay, I get that people say size doesn't matter, but in this case, it really does. The wands are iconic, and their size should remain consistent. Come on, LEGO, stick to the right size. Why does LEGO Batman 2 have a post-credit scene teasing Brainiac's arrival, setting up LEGO Batman 3, only to let you find and defeat him in the open world right after? It feels so strange to build up your next big villain, only to have him casually hanging out in Gotham City Park. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cool to see Brainiac in the game, but it would have made more sense to save him for the next installment. Plus, why can he fly in LEGO Batman 2, but not in LEGO Batman 3? Or how about this in LEGO Star Wars 3? This was the first LEGO Star Wars game to introduce the General Grievous mold that we all know and love, yet oddly enough, they still use the complete Saga version of Grievous on the box art. Like, what? You only really pick up on it when someone points it out to you, and what is even more baffling is General Grievous, a warrior who wields 4 lightsabers, cannot cut through walls in the game. Why do I need to be a Force user to slice open a door? And we've literally seen bro do it multiple times throughout the story. What's the deal with Dumbledore in the LEGO Harry Potter games? He's the inventor of the Deluminator, a tool that can absorb and release light, yet in LEGO Harry Potter years 5 to 7, he doesn't seem to have it. Ron does. I get that in the story, Dumbledore passes it on to Ron after his death. But we play as Dumbledore before he dies, obviously, so he should have the Deluminator at that point, right? Another thing that does not make any sense, in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, only 2 characters in the game, Stan Lee and Wolverine, are supposed to have adamantium skeletons, which you can spot by their distinct light grey colour. However, when you electrocute Wolverine or Stan Lee, their skeletons change from adamantium to regular bones. That is some strange electricity. Have you ever wondered about the currency in LEGO games? As players, we use studs to buy items in shops, but in some LEGO games, you will notice signs displaying prices in real-world currency. And what makes this super strange is that LEGO characters are fully aware of the existence of studs in their world. In LEGO Marvel Superheroes, for instance, there's a voice line that references the studs scattered across the streets.
Who keeps leaving these trails of money around?
Though they do see it as money, and this raises a few questions. If characters know about studs, why don't they use them all the time instead of dollars? And why can't players collect dollars in the game? And a big one I have mentioned before, why is no one picking up the money lying around all over the city? Now, in most LEGO games, swimming is a standard feature, except from in the LEGO Star Wars games, where characters are consistently unable to swim. But weirdly, LEGO Batman 2 also removes swimming, likely due to it being the first open world LEGO game. However, one character can actually swim in this game, Lex Luthor. Even Aquaman, known for his aquatic powers, quickly succumbs to the water. What makes this even more strange is that Lex Luthor's swimming ability is activated by pressing the attack button while in the water. Why Lex Luthor, of all characters, was given the ability to swim, I will never know. Now, I am not a big fan of the LEGO Movie tie-in games. We are all aware of the second game's problems, not giving any characters their abilities, which is very, very out of the ordinary for LEGO games. Even LEGO Worlds gave certain characters abilities. Superman should be able to fly without needing a jetpack. It just does not make any sense, and the first LEGO Movie game is not that great. Like, how come the Ninjago characters do not have acrobatic abilities despite being ninjas? Only Wildstyle has acrobatic abilities, and that brings me on to another. If you've played any of the classic LEGO games, you've probably wondered the same thing at some point. Why do female characters jump higher? Whenever I saw them purple flowers on the floor as a kid, I always questioned it. And before we move on to the next one, hello there guys, I am RuggedEagle and I do tons of LEGO game videos on the channel, so if you love LEGO games, why not subscribe? Anyway, let's get back to it. What's the deal with Filch in LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 to 4? In the Forbidden Section level, he patrols the library, and if you get caught, he grabs you because students aren't allowed in the Forbidden Section. The key word there being students. When I switch to free play and play as Dumbledore, the headmaster of the school, Filch still grabs me for trespassing. Mate, I am your boss. What you doing? As you have seen, LEGO Batman 2 really has a lot of things that don't make sense, and possibly the biggest of them all is how Shazam cannot do electrical terminals. Mate, you are literally a walking battery, and he even gets an electric shock. The same goes for Black Adam. How can these two get an electric shock? They cannot even power the terminals up to, and the electrical beam that they fire out doesn't even deal electrical damage. Instead, it just works as a glorified heat beam. At least Bro can walk through electricity. And how about the fact in LEGO Batman 1, when you electrocute rats with Joker's buzzer, they have a full-on human skeletal system? Why is this even a thing? And they had to code this in. What is the matter with Mr. Fantastic in LEGO Marvel Superheroes? I am not talking about the strange bicycle glitch. I am referring to his powers. Like, he is just meant to be some dude with stretchy powers, yet in certain levels he turns into a battery and generates electricity, then later he transforms into a water pump and somehow pumps out massive amounts of water. And let's not even talk about the rocket transformation. It just doesn't make sense how he is this overpowered. And Stan Lee also can stretch too in this game, and I understand him not being able to use Mr. Fantastic panels, as they would have to redesign all of the builds, but I do not understand why Stan Lee cannot use vents. We see him use his stretchy powers, he should be able to go through here. How come George Lucas has never been a playable character in any of the LEGO Star Wars games? Kathleen Kennedy is a character, for crying out loud. It always annoyed and confused me. Like, we got Spielberg in LEGO Jurassic World and Colin Trevorrow, then J.J. Abrams in The Force Awakens. Where's George Lucas at? I was really hoping he was going to be in the Skywalker saga, but no. Who made the decision to not let Sinestro use lantern constructs in LEGO Batman 2? Like, I get that they are green for Green Lantern, but Sinestro is borderline useless. He carries around his lantern ring, but cannot use it. Why is it in LEGO Marvel Superheroes when you play as Spider-Man Future Foundation and transform back into Peter Parker, then hold the transform button again, you end up back in the regular Spider-Man suit? How did Peter suddenly switch suits, and where did his original suit come from? And this is a pretty big one. Why am I not allowed to be Peter Parker in levels? It just stops you transforming into him, and I only recently found this out. How come in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, every character rides the dewback facing forwards, apart from Han Solo, who decides to ride it facing backwards? This always confused me as a kid. There is no benefits to riding it backwards. You cannot see where you're going, and if he is trying to look cool, it doesn't even look cool, it just looks stupid. What is with the wheelchairs outside of the hospital in LEGO City Undercover? They have nitrous, and some vehicles in the game do not even have nitrous. And before you say anything, yes, I do not have nitrous for all vehicles equipped. This is how the wheelchairs come. I know, who is getting pushed around in one of these? It must be some emergency. You know what never made sense to me in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga? In the level Mos Eisley, droids are not allowed in the cantina, but when you are in the hub world, droids are suddenly allowed in the cantina. Like, there is a whole outside area for the droids to chill out in. Why are they suddenly allowed in the cantina now? And how about how Jango Fett's blasters in the Skywalker Saga do not make the correct sound effect? This still annoys me. In LEGO Dimensions, there are tons of underwater characters, but the one that confuses me the most is Scooby-Doo. Why is he a underwater character? He is literally just a dog. How can he breathe underwater forever? And dogs are not even that good at swimming. What is up with Magneto and Juggernaut in LEGO Marvel Superheroes? The whole reason they wear their massive red helmets is to stop them getting mind controlled, but they can still get mind controlled by bosses in certain levels. Have they got a hole in the helmet or something? And it's kind of funny because the entire Juggernaut boss fight in this game is centered around taking off his helmet to be able to mind control him, yet he can just get mind controlled through the helmet in the game. And there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and just before you go, why don't you check out my ranking of all of the bosses in LEGO Marvel Superheroes from worst to best. You will not believe who is at number 1. Anyway, see yous all in a bit. Adios.